All right, welcome everyone to our very first episode of Author Meets Narrator. My name is Jessie Forrest with Jessie Says Voiceover, and today we'll be chatting up the author of Love Deception, The Geek's Guide to Not Giving a Damn About Your Ex and Living Your Life with Style, Pepi Valderrama. Welcome to the broadcast, Pepi!
Hello!
Awesome. Well, you lived in Japan for a while, right?
Yes.
So having like that Mediterranean background.
Cultures are at odds. What you don't do in Japan, you're supposed to do in the Mediterranean. It's like, opposites.
Yes. Did you have a lot of like social faux pas when you got there? Like, because you just didn't know?
The first year, it was a year of basically learning what you are supposed to do or not. It was like, and sometimes you were very confused, but they said yes, but actually it was a no. But I didn't know it was a no. So I thought it was a yes, but it was not a yes, it was a yes, no.
Ah, I'm already confused.
Exactly.
Do they have like an institute where they send you when you first get there so that you can acclimate to the culture, or do they just kind of like throw you to the sharks and be like, good luck?
Yeah, good luck.
Oh no.
And you need practice and then you get the hang of it. But that's why many people couldn't stay there for longer than a year. Some people just quit, like saying, no, I can't live there.
Yeah.
So if you were able to survive for the year, then you were good to go. It's like, it was good.
Yeah.
But I was very confused for a whole year.
I would imagine.
Like, I thought it had this date. It turns out it don't. Or they said they would call me and it was not. Until I found when a yes was a yes and when a yes was a no. Just to be polite, it took me a while. So.
Gotcha. Acclimation is tough. So how many books have you written so far? Not to change the subject, but...
That they are published right now, 4. I'm published more, but I am published them because I consider them not tuning with my vibe now. So it's the old stuff that I started when I started self-publishing.
That's awesome.
Many years ago. Like poetry, nobody wants to read it.
I know. It's hard to publish a book of poetry. Like, I remember writing a bunch of poetry when I was in high school in my early 20s and thinking, gosh, I should I could totally publish a book of poetry and, everyone would find it so profound and then I would make $1 million and it would be great. And that's not how poetry works.
No.
It's a hard sell.
Yes, it is. But I was very proud when I did it. I mean, that's how I discovered self-publishing. A friend of mine just told me, oh, you could self-publish it? And I was like, wait, what? What's that?
Yeah.
Yeah, you could self-publish. And yeah, from there, I tried with the poetry book. It was print on demand, actually. And I ordered books to sell myself because I never thought, oh, someone is going to go and buy them from the link at the beginning. Right. So I started that way. And it was like, when I had it in my hands, it was like, my baby. So even if you don't succeed with your first book, I still tell people you should do it because you will learn a lot. Designing the cover, the problems with editing and everything. So it's actually good that you try, even if it's a flop.
Wow, that's awesome. So how did you decide to get into writing? Out of all the things you could have done?
I just like it. I like writing. I have lots of journals everywhere around me and I buy lots of stationery. It just makes sense. And when I get really angry, I write it down. And when I get really happy, I also write it down. Nice. So it's not, I never thought of it like, okay, I'm going to publish it at the beginning. I would just write it for myself.
It's a very cathartic habit to get into, to get your thoughts and your feelings on paper. It's really awesome. Plus, if you're growing as a person, you can look at those journal entries from forever ago and be like,
yeah, later on, and you will say like horrified, like, oh my god, what was thinking?
Yeah. Oh, it was so young and naive. What have I done?
Exactly.
What am I doing? Yes. Especially around people you're attracted to, and you write about your journals and your crushes and stuff, and then you go back and you're like, what did I ever see in that guy? God.
Horror.
Yes, horror. It's amazing.
Horror story.
So what is the inspiration behind your writing style? Do you have any aspirations to branch out into other styles of writing?
No, I just read lots of different types of books. I don't have it's with my mood. I go from fantasy to comic books to, you know, very deep stuff, history books where they have no. It's like a mashed potato thingy. I read everything, and then when I write, I don't think, I just dump it out.
Wow.
Basically, I'm not really having a purpose, if that makes sense.
Got
I
it.
just try to put out what I have, and I don't know if I'm gonna use it or not. Then when what I see I like it, then maybe then this could be a book, and then it's when I organize it and I create the second draft.
Awesome. That's a good process.
Yeah, I don't know if other people do it like this, but
well, I think everybody does. Yeah, it does a process differently. So you're saying there's not going to be a like psycho murder mystery published by Pepi Valderrama anytime soon, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
No true crime documentary stuff. Respect. So this book, Love Deception, is clearly written with the female audience in mind, but it's not necessarily written for women. How do you think this book would resonate with a male audience?
I think many women are as evil as many men are, and as trapped as everybody else. So I cannot really, even if I talk about in the book, it's not, you could put Samantha in the other end. So basically, it doesn't mean like because you have a specific gender, you cannot apply the techniques inside of the book for yourself. So I actually know many men who have had very unfortunate relationships, and it was kind of not the same, but many things were linking and matching. So I would say, like, if they want to read it, go ahead. I mean, you never know, you can have something for you there. I thought about someone like myself to write it, to be honest, but it's open for everybody.
Awesome. Cool. You talk a lot in your books about, and we talked a little bit about this before too, about all the places that you've been and the places you've lived. What inspired you to travel at such a young age, and is that a trend to continue? And before you answer, I think I know the answer to this already because we talked a great length yesterday about pizza from Arizona. So it's a great travel motivator, isn't it?
Yes, but when I was younger, it was mostly a geeky thing of mine. I just wanted to go to Japan. I just wanted to experience the country and live there. There was no
bucket list thing
extra. And I just was saying, oh, I want to go and live in Japan, like for no reason, out of the blue when I was a kid. And I kept saying it until I made it happen. So there was no list or anything. If I see something that catches my eye and I say, oh, that must be interesting or yummy, or, you know, like, why not? As long as you have the energy, why not?
Yeah. So where are you going to go next? What's your next big travel plans?
Well, my next travel plans, the plans are growing. It's going to Rome with my mom.
Oh, cool.
So, you know, going around, chill, eat.
Yes.
Eating nice food.
Yes, of course.
And yeah, just having a good trip with my mom.
That's awesome.
She's been actually asking me for a long time as well, so I owe her.
Yeah, you guys are going to have a great time. That's awesome. So this book is what I like to refer to as mom vice. You know, those are those sweet little nuggets of wisdom that we get from the people who love us the most, reminding us that we need to love ourselves the most. Your book is totally full of that. What advice did you get from your loved ones that resonates with you the most and that you carry with you?
From my grandma, basically. She once said, you can do whatever you want with your knowledge.
Nice.
And you can go as far as you want with your knowledge. So focus on your knowledge. Basically, she wanted me to learn a lot because that would be like kind of being resourceful, if that makes any sense. So that
awesome.
stuck with me. Yeah. So
awesome.
She had a very harsh life, and she always dreamt of going to school, and she finally made it when she was really old, actually. And she started to read, and she read everything. She was a reading machine. And I think that's why she gave me that piece of advice, because she saw that I could do it. So she was like, yeah, don't miss this chance. You can do it. Go ahead. Go. You can do whatever you want with that.
It's so awesome to think, you know, back when our grandparents were small and education wasn't really, it wasn't really something that was sought after. You know, my grandparents were farm workers. So they, you know, they got up to 6th grade and then they went to go work in the fields. So You know, it's amazing how much more important an education is these days. So
Yeah.
it's pretty awesome. So looking back on this book, what advice do you think should have been included but you didn't get around to adding?
I don't remake my books once they're done, if that makes sense. When I've decided they have a shape and I've put them out there, I don't want to retouch, especially this one. If it were how to overcome AI anxiety, obviously yes. That one makes sense because it's related to AI and AI changes. So that one I can update.
Yeah,
but
by the second.
But this one, the first book as it is, I would leave it like that because it's a point in time, and I wrote it in a certain mood. If I change it now, you would change the mood. So I wouldn't touch it. But there's a second book.
There's a sequel.
There's a sequel.
There's a sequel.
But the mood is different. It's once you have gone through the breakdown, what can you do next?
Right.
But it's a different point in time, you see. It's a different point of view, a different mentality once you have gone through the thing.
Yeah.
So if I change it now, it wouldn't make justice to the writing that already is in there. If that makes sense.
Totally. And I think that that's really cool too, because anything that you think, if you think back on your project and you think, gosh, I really wish I would have put this in there, you can definitely just, you know, include that in the next chapter.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a progression. But I love that. You know, that was a different point of maturity. So, you know, you were in a different spot in your life. So I think that's great.